And I'll just take a few minutes to introduce Ramune and Bridget from SPEC Matters. We're excited to hear what you have to share and talk about how specifications can affect the building industry and help us build healthier environments. So yes, Jonathan, we have the 3 examples. So, I mean, without wasting too much time, I'm just going to hand it over to Ramune, who's the CEO and founder of SPEC Matters. So take it away.
Great. Thank you so much, Danielle. Thanks everyone for having me. I'm really excited to share about SPEC Matters today. I'm going to share my screen. Hopefully this will work. And we'll jump right into it. Ooh. All right, can everyone see my screen? Perfect. All right. So our mission is to empower the building industry to write healthier specifications and make better material selections because these decisions matter. Who we are, as Danielle mentioned, my name is Ramune Bartuskaite. I'm the CEO and founder of SPEC Matters. I'm also a practicing architect here in Philadelphia. I work at 15 Architecture and Design. And today I'm joined by my colleague, Bridget.
Hi, everyone. I'm Bridget Novielli. I'm also a practicing architect in Philly at JKRP Architects. I'm excited to be here with you.
Thanks, Bridget. So we also have a team of 8 other volunteers. You can see them shown here. They're all volunteers from around the country at different levels of their careers. We have some students and young professionals and older professionals as well. And what we do. So our problem statement is that architects, interior designers, contractors, and developers are making decisions every day without knowing the impact of material selections. We have a duty to inform ourselves and to be more intentional with our specifications. There are dire consequences for if we don't take this matter seriously. The building industry is unknowingly impacting the health and well-being of building occupants. We spend 90% of our time indoors, where pollutants are often 2 to 5 times higher than typical outdoor concentrations. 1 in 3 people will develop cancer over the course of a lifetime. 80 to 90% of all cancer cases are linked to environmental factors. Chemicals linked to reproductive and developmental toxicity, hormone disruption, and cancer have been found in 95 to 100% of dust samples from homes across the country. And studies show that more than half of construction workers are exposed to toxic substances at least 2 times a week, which is more than double the average in other American industries. There's a huge knowledge gap that exists in our industry. On the one side, the science community and health-focused organizations are raising red flags, collecting data, publishing research on the health effects and consequences of building products and materials. Manufacturers are constantly reinventing their products and developing new, healthier options. But on the other side, building professionals don't have the time to keep up with the latest scientific findings. Companies don't have the resources or time to invest in healthy building research, and building toxicity is not addressed in architectural education. We are unprepared to make these decisions in the workplace and don't know how to advocate for healthier materials with our clients. I did a little bit of research, and we had a survey at the beginning of this year. And I'm going to share some of the statistics to kind of help build a case for this. So 98.7% of students and professionals in the industry believe that we should know how to create healthier environments. However, only about 36% of professionals in the industry have actually taken material courses addressing building toxicity. And out of those who have taken courses, only 62% feel prepared to have conversations addressing material impacts. So even the courses that are available do not really service us. And most practicing professionals in our industry do not feel prepared to have client conversations regarding material impacts, about 60%. And only about half of architecture students, architects, architectural designers know that the AIA Code of Ethics obligates them to have these client conversations. So that is another huge knowledge gap. And then looking at the AIA, the 2020 AIA Firm Survey, 75% of architecture firms have fewer than 9 employees, with an additional 18.5 have fewer than 50 employees, which means most architecture firms are small or mid-size. And feedback suggests that those are precisely the firms that have limited capacity for research. Looking at this survey further, we see that only 2% of small firms, so 75% of firms, actually have an annual budget for research, and then only 2% have a formal research department or a director. 20% use in-house databases, and then they do say that 36% actually have do research on products to inform project specifications versus using previous product specs as a standard practice. So hopefully they are building and keeping up with the latest findings, but again, it's only about 36%. So our solution is to that SPEC Matters makes it easy to stay informed. Our team collects reports, articles, white papers, scientific data, and industry advocacy tools. We consolidate, condense, and relate this important information to our peers in the industry. And we do that, we have a 5-minute newsletter, bi-weekly newsletter that we send out. And then we also host this information on our website. So we focus on healthy product features, specification suggestions, metrics for client conversations and advocacy, toxicology and green chemistry findings, healthy material webinars, and latest industry tools. Our target markets are 1, young professionals in architecture, interior design, and construction; 2, firms and companies who do not already have healthy building and material experts; 3, busy building professionals who may not be working on sustainable and healthy buildings, but want an easy way to stay on top of industry trends; and 4 is building owners who are not yet investing in healthy buildings and sustainable projects, but are curious to learn more. And these are the markets that are kind of reflected in our newsletter audience and website as well. So a little bit more about us. We are a diverse team of young professionals who are eager to learn from and eager to highlight experts in our industry. We are passionate about sustainability and healthy building initiatives. Our backgrounds include the following areas listed below. And we've come together in efforts to help educate the next generation of leaders who will shape the built environment in our communities and also share what we learn with those we encounter along the way. So our fellowship structure, this is something I'm extremely excited and happy about. SPEC Matters is not just an advocacy platform, but we also train and empower the next generation through the work that we do. So the way it works is that we take on fellows every year, usually students or young professionals who do not have any healthy building knowledge. So they come in with little knowledge, they learn as they research and develop knowledge and passion, and then produce content to teach others. And that, I believe, is the best way to really learn, is by teaching others. And then they move on, you know, from SPEC Matters and as they build their careers and then apply this healthy building knowledge to the rest of their careers. We are built on these core pillars. 1 is accessibility. So we condense complex scientific research into small absorbable bits to make it more accessible and easy to understand. 2 is raise awareness and to the health and environmental challenges that our industry is facing. 3 is action. We suggest simple ways in which to take action and make progress toward healthier, more sustainable specifications. And the final 1 is empowerment. We believe each of you play a part in a movement toward healthier buildings. So we encourage everyone to take the first step and get informed. So a little bit about getting there and how SPEC Matters was founded. So a lot of this actually came together for me in 2020. Previously, I had worked at a firm where I managed the material library, and I had already built up product knowledge and material experience and was really interested in that. And then in 2020, obviously the pandemic had a lot of impact, but I really felt that was the first time that people in general started questioning their indoor environments and how they affect our health. And in 2020, something else that happened was I lost my mom to cancer, and that really felt helpless about it. And then once I got back into studying for my AREs, it was the first time in 7 years of schooling and you know, another 5 years of architectural experience that I first found out that building materials are toxic. It was one paragraph in one of the study materials. And the more I dug into it, I realized that there's a lot of carcinogens that actually exist in building materials, and really felt that I should have gotten this knowledge, you know, before this stage in my life. And so I really felt like this was my chance to actually do something about it and funnel my grief and my energy into something that is more powerful and meaningful. So I started by asking a lot of questions. I realized that my peers were also unaware of the problem, and then that institutions outside of the industry were raising red flags, and none of those red flags ever got to architects and interior designers who are actually making the decisions every day. So then I looked into certifications and found a Parsons Healthier Materials Certificate program. So I did that. I took all the materials AIA courses, also the ones offered in the Healthy Building Network. Something else that really helped me boost my knowledge and my network in healthy materials is the ULI Health Leaders Network, which I'm part of this year. And it's a group of 30 professionals globally who really advocate for health in the built environment. And then I collected a lot of research and took a lot of webinars and just built this knowledge and database of healthy material information. And then I found the courage to actually go public and do something about it. So I first tested an internal newsletter within the firm that I worked at and realized that it was really helpful to all levels of architecture, from entry-level architects all the way to architects who've been practicing for 30 years. And then I started gathering feedback to how to make and improve those newsletters. And then eventually I built a team of volunteers trained to start training the next generation, and built an online public platform called SPEC Matters. So I encourage you to join our journey. You can sign up for our free newsletters at specmatters.com. Also on social media, we have an Instagram account, and also we're active on LinkedIn. You can share us with your peers and colleagues. You can also give to help us finance our technology and help us grow. We solely rely on donations and a few grants to actually make us function. So we always appreciate that. And the last thing that we ask you is, if you're interested in volunteering, please reach out. Professionals like you are really important to this platform. The more perspectives we can bring, the better our content, more holistic and wide-reaching it will be. And then one other thing we wanted to share is our latest campaign on Instagram called Spec This, Skip That, and I'll hand it over to Bridget to speak a little bit more about that.
Hi, everyone. So one initiative we want to highlight, like Ramune mentioned, is that we are launching a social media campaign on Instagram for communicating quick tips for improving common specifications. It's called Spec This, Skip That. And the goal is to offer guidance for specifications, not specific products. And we're encouraging informed decision-making for the spec selection, and not just simply accepting what is standard in your firm or even in the industry. So for example, we could have spec products with health product declarations, HPDs, and skip products that refuse transparency, and then go into detail in the caption and linked newsletters on why this is important. So the focus is educating our audience of young professionals in an engaging, fun way on simple solutions, and trying to empower them to be active with the spec and material decisions. So like Ramune mentioned, our ultimate goal with this initiative is to raise awareness in healthier specifications. So we hope you will check it out. Thank you.
That's all we have today, but we're happy to answer any questions.
So I'm curious if you will, I'm sure you're aware of like AIA's Material Pledge program.
Yes.
Are you working with anyone there on that?
Not necessarily. We haven't like partnered specifically. What we do, I'm going to stop sharing. There you go. What we do is basically highlight initiatives like that exist. So we have, spread the word to kind of advocate people to come along and sign up, and get educated about it. But that's kind of the extent of our involvement right now.
Would you be interested in getting connected with them?
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely open to that.
Because Billy Faircloth is the chair of Coat National this year.
Okay.
Billy's a principal over at Karen Timberlake, where I worked for a number of years. But anyway, so we can get you connected with Billy and with Kira Gould, who's also at Coat National level on communication, to just see if there's, obviously what you're doing is well aligned with that effort at AIA's national level, and I'm really excited that we're having a lot of discussions and support at the national level around sustainability and health and well-being. So yeah, always good to sort of connect the dots.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely. And yeah, I greatly appreciate that. I think it's really important to kind of build your team of like supporters and kind of knowledge share. And we've actually connected with the Living Futures Institute and then also the Healthy Building Network. So even just knowing who to talk to when questions come up, and we have our community often reach out to us for, expertise, and we're not consultants. We usually just pass on, connect them to people who have the answers. So, having building our network, expanding our reach, helps a lot.
Yeah, the other would be the Carbon Leadership Forum.
Okay.
Which I'm sure you're aware of them as well, but there's a Philadelphia chapter.
Okay.
And one of the Philadelphia members was a former principal over at KT, but actually works directly for the Carbon Leadership Forum with the University of Washington. So again, another group we can make the connection, because I know when you get into talking about embodied carbon, that's a whole wormhole of expertise to go down that you really have to have those folks with that knowledge to tap into. So
yeah, that'd be great. I'd appreciate that. Thank you.
I'm gonna mute my mic.
Does anyone else have any questions or comments?
I just want to thank you again for your commitment, and your story is so compelling. It's really inspiring. I think we're all feeling that. Someone put it in the chat. I think it was David, but just want to share that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that.
Yeah, if you get a chance, there's a interview with Bob Birkenbill, one of the founders of BNIM, and actually one of the founders of COAT 40 years ago, talking about how he was involved in this like horrible bridge collapse at a hotel back in the 80s. And during the 2-3 years of litigating, going through all of that, he was, similarly sort of questioning what he's doing in the profession, which then led him to like a deep commitment to sustainability that has driven him ever since. And it's one of the reasons why, he's one of the people that got us to like sign this pledge in 2019 at a national level. So I'll send you the link. I posted it to my Instagram. You might like it. I don't know. Yeah. I enjoyed it.
I'm sure I will. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Yeah. I think it's these stories kind of that help you like pause and just reevaluate and, ask yourself what you can do. And I really believe like, if I can do something, everyone has the power to do something. We don't have to wait for anyone else to empower us to step up. And I think you as a committee have already done so much great work and are already active in this sphere. So I'm grateful for the opportunity to connect with all of you and hopefully stay in touch and maybe partner on some events in the future as well.
Definitely. Any other questions from our group? All right. Well, you're more than welcome to hang on here. And I don't know if we've sent you an outline of like all of our subcommittees. We've also got the information on AIA Philadelphia website now as well. But if we haven't shared that with you, we will. So you can look at that and see if there's a particular subcommittee of interest if you want to specifically engage with one of those.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I actually do have to hop off. I'm actually serving jury duty today. So thanks again for having me. Really appreciate it. And thanks again, Danielle, for making the connection.
Great to have you.
All right. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank